Welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Podcast. Top 5 picks of the weeks here, week 45. This is the host of DD's One Ivan C here with my family, the Westers, the West of all West, the Generation West. Of course, I have the director, el director. He is the director, and that is the CK1, the one and only Chris Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
And also, hi. And also we have, he's not a callus today. He's just the regular, your regular is Mr. MGC Matthew Steamboat. No Don Callis today, right? I guess not.
Oh,
Well, maybe the tag team division's always a focus. It's never ignored.
You spoke it into existence, Ivan. There you go.
it's like Bloody Mary, man. It's Bloody Mary.
I mean, I must say the Good Brothers are sadly not on my list, but you know, they're definitely highly rated, is what I'll say about the Good Brothers.
There you go. There's Matthew Don Callis or Matthew Callis. What do you want to call him?
It's so close to my morning voice too. So,
I feel like
and also we have, ladies and gentlemen, once again coming back from doing episode 45, and I have our brother from the League of Extraordinary Podcasts, and that is turn your attention to the Titantron, ladies and gentlemen. That is Mr. Anthony. He's back on the show today, joining us. And also we have, of course, the Powers of Pain. The Powers of Pain. Our other brother from another mother from the League of Extraordinary Podcasts. That is Alex Mares from the Championship on the Line podcast. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm back. And I'm better than ever. You know, I had to come on for one more, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to talking about these tag teams.
Definitely, that's right. So week 45, ladies and gentlemen, it is top 5 underrated tag teams. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to see who goes first of giving their top 5s. Give me one moment here.
spin that wheel, man. Just get it real nice.
All right, here we go.
let's do this. Go.
Alex,
Draft music.
Big money. Big
Oh, there you go.
Damn it.
You're going to have to go first, buddy.
No whammy.
No whammy.
Brought to you by
So-
South Park on whatever channel, HBO Max. Sponsored by Guy
So,
The
so
floor
I'm doing
is
the whole
yours.
list, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you do your 5 all the way down to whatever you got left.
All right, cool.
Floor is yours.
So number 5. Okay, so this list is like I'm going through the list of like, because I'm like a ruthless aggression guy. That's my era. That's what I was watching when I was a kid. I'm not an attitude guy. Wasn't around at the time. So
so
this
sorry
list
to
is
hear that.
very
So sorry.
ruthless aggression.
You really missed out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you can say that. But this list is more of that era. So I'm gonna go with star of number 5. So number 5, I'm gonna go with La Resistance.
La Resistance.
I get you.
Yep.
Second coming into Quebecers.
Yeah, I mean, there were I know there are it was 3 of them. I know it was Rob Conway, Rene Dupree, and Simeon Grander. Those guys are really. I just feel like no one brings them up, especially they were champs for a while, and I just feel like they were such a good tag team, and they were such good heels too, and no one ever brings them up at all. I think a lot of people don't even remember them, which I feel like they're so underrated. So yeah, I'm gonna go with number 5 with them, and so I'm gonna go with Resistance. What are you guys' thoughts on them?
I didn't know Sylvain Granier's dad was a big time promoter in the territories. I only just found that out recently. That's how much I lack my wrestling historian abilities.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I agree though, they are underrated for sure because
Yeah,
they don't be spoken about, and then when you added Rob Conway at the end, that was something great. I actually loved it. They were the greatest. They were your Quebecers 2.0
Yeah.
or
That's immediately what I thought of when they debuted. They came out with the Canadian flags and is that correct? They had the big flags. The whole.
Yeah.
But also
And
don't
if I'm
forget-
not mistaken, I think, wasn't it Rene Dupree who was one of the youngest
Yes.
champions
Yeah.
in WWE? I think it was 19 or something at that point.
Yeah. He was about 19.
Yeah.
It's your combination of the Quebecers and the Rougeau brothers, pretty much.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
kind of reviving that. So I agree. All right.
So then number 4, I'm gonna go with a TNA tag team, and I'm gonna go with LAX, Homicide and Hernandez.
Oh,
All right.
that is
The
out of
OGs.
nowhere.
Yeah, like I grew up watching them, especially like in TNA, and they were like, because there were more heels, and so they were like really good. Especially they had like Hector Guerrero as like their manager, which I feel like altogether, especially like the entrance they had, it was not even like they didn't use like the regular entrance. They had like their own, and they had like the alarm type of thing. It was really cool. And as a kid, like I liked them a lot, and I just feel like no one brings them up. I know TNA brought them back, especially to face like the newer version of LAX, but I just feel like they don't. I mean, I think in the future they'll be like in the Hall of Fame for sure, for Impact. But yeah, definitely. I know like Hernandez is there right now, and then Homicide, I think he's still in Independence. But as a kid, they're like one of my favorites, and yeah, I'm gonna go with them number 4. But yeah, LAX.
Awesome.
Alex, I'll say real quickly, let me correct myself. It was Emile Dupree, Rene Dupree's father, who was his territory was like New Brunswick in Canada. So that was his territory.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, Grand Prix Wrestling. That's what it was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I only
Pretty
found it
cool.
out recently because I heard it from the Cornette podcast. I was like, what?
So yeah, with number 3, I'm gonna go with the world's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin.
There you go.
Definitely favorites. Yeah, I just feel like they were so good. They were like, at the time, I know they were from Kurt Angle and everything, and they don't bring them up anymore. I feel like no one really acknowledges them anymore, especially like with Charlie Haas too.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I know
not to
Shelton
get too dark, but I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever picked up on the original version of that tag team, which was Russell Haas and Charlie Haas. They're brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That tag team was made out of necessity because of the unfortunate incident that happened.
Mhm.
Russell, that was a great tag team on its own, which I think had what happened and not happened, that Benjamin might not have been in the picture. It would have been the Haas in that same exact spotlight with that same exact success. But Benjamin definitely, filled I don't know what it was. You can't really say filled a gap.
Yeah.
But played the other partner. I'm sorry, it's a real sensitive subject.
No, I know. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that Charlie kept it going and had success on a bigger stage with someone as talented as Shelton.
And I like their style too because they're very technical, and especially both had like collegiate wrestling backgrounds too, and they utilize that in their wrestling style. So always was a big fan of that. So yeah, number 3, I'll go World's Greatest Tag Team, Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin.
Awesome.
And then number 2, I'm gonna go with Eminem.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I loved Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro, and especially like at the time it was very different, especially like the red carpet with the entrance, and then Melina came in. She was a great manager, and yeah, I mean, there were like, how many times were champ? Like 3 times, I want to say, right? There were, a few times, right? There were tag champs.
Yeah, there were about 2 or 3 times. SmackDown only, but they never went to Raw.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right, because you know what? I gotta give it to Paul Heyman though, because he when he was in control of SmackDown, he created a lot of new stars, and a lot of them like involves them. Same with the world's greatest tag team, and bringing them up from the developmental system from OVW and bringing them up, and I gotta give credits due to Heyman. He made them really popular, and then when they won the Raw, that was it. Raw is like honestly like a poison or something. Like it's like a bad luck charm to people. Shit, I don't want to go to Raw. Like I don't know why. It's just Raw has bad luck, man. I don't get it. All right, go.
It's like everyone's career goes down when they go to Raw.
Yeah.
That's very true. All right.
So yeah, and then so I'm gonna put some out like honorable mentions out there. I have a couple of them.
You forgot number 1 though.
Oh yeah. Let me get that one.
I thought I didn't lose track. I just wasn't sure if you didn't get to one or not.
Yeah, I forgot. Let me do number 1 real quick. So number 1, I don't know. I don't know if you could say they're underrated. I just don't think they bring them up a lot. I don't know. Maybe they do. I just don't think they bring up this tag team, but I'm gonna go with especially they're my favorite tag team all time. Los Guerreros. Chavo Guerrero.
Nice.
Chavo Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero.
Viva
Yeah,
la
I just feel
raza.
I feel like they don't bring them up a lot, especially with Chavo too. Obviously, I know he had some problems with WWE when he left, but there's still no excuse not to bring him up, especially for him and Eddie, what they did. You know, they were champions for a long time and they had great matches. And I just feel like,
Definitely,
Bring 'em up a lot.
because especially like how the chemistry they had, and then the
Mhm.
storylines that will put with others, and then not only that, there were also just those vignettes, how it all
Yeah,
started,
the
light
sketches,
sheet
yeah.
steel, the sketches. I enjoyed those. I was really happy about that. I loved them, man. But yeah, all
like
right.
the part when they were like pool cleaning guys. And then they threw a party at like the old lady's house in the backyard,
Yeah.
in the pool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. So now to your honorable mentions.
There was a couple like I didn't like the gimmick, but I think as a team they were really good. And that was like the Basham brothers.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they don't. I mean, I wasn't really a fan like the gimmick thing. I know the story where like I know Cornette was saying like they changed them like right before, like they ended up shaving their heads because I think they had like hair when they were in I think OVW.
Right.
Linda Miles.
Yeah. And I remember like Jim Cornette was saying that he was pissed because when he brought him back, he's like, really? Like you shaved my guys? Like what the hell? Like you just completely changed them. So yeah, I mean, I liked them. I just didn't like the gimmick. But they were really good as a team. They worked really well together. And also, these guys weren't champions, but I think they were really good. The Mexicals.
Oh my god, love that, dude.
Forgot about them. That's Juice and Psychosis.
Yeah.
Mhm. And Super Crazy was in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a great actually. But here's a question though: did you like that gimmick, the lawnmowers and?
I did. I thought it was cool. It was
They're like
different.
just making fun of racism in its own way.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. All right, let's go back to the wheel to see who goes next. All right, here we go. Spin that wheel.
No, I heard him.
Oh.
I
Did you guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
that
that was you.
You keep coming in and out. Like your screen
Yeah.
is perfect. It's you that's all wonky.
Yeah, I apologize, gentlemen, due to technical difficulties with the internet, unfortunately. Fuck Spectrum. That's what I'm saying.
Not a sponsor of the show.
Not a sponsor for shit at the show. Jesus Christ, man. All right. This was a very tough list. I'll tell you this right now. There's so many incredible tag teams out there from the past, present, and the future. But we're talking about they're underrated. So I'll give you my number 5, who was underrated, even though they're in the ring skills were just not the best, but in the childhood characters gave us, oh my God, that's awesome when we were as a kid. And they never had a chance to win a championship belt, and that is the Bushwhackers.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
If you weren't 4 or 5 years old running around your house doing this, then were you even watching pro wrestling? And then that's before your time, Alex. And I'm assuming maybe even Anthony might be much younger than at least I am. So
yeah, no, for sure.
Bushwhackers for sure was like my jam, dude. Hey, they lick each other's armpits, dude. Come on, man. That was like their finishing move was like lick the armpit and then do like the headbutt with the guy in the headlock.
Bro, I'm surprised they never got sick of them licking people in the crowd, and like
Oh
they
my
never.
goodness. Could you
never
imagine them
got-
bringing back the Bushwhackers nowadays with
That is
everything
not
that's
social
going on with the virus, and they start licking people's heads? Oh my goodness, that would be
They're
horrible.
Oh, that would be horrible.
It's called their finishing called the spread.
The super spread.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's so gnarly. But yeah, dude.
But yeah, it's an unfortunate. They never had a tag. They never had a tag team championship run at all. You know, they were booked like certain main events, but they never won the titles at all in WWE ever in their lives.
Right.
And it's an unfortunate. Even though I'm glad they're in the Hall of Fame, but it
Yeah,
just sucks
sure.
that they never had a title run. It would have been awesome to see. Number 4, another one that I think these individuals could have had only had a one-time run, but I wish they could have had a longer run. And that is the natural disasters, earthquake and title.
Oh shit, bro!
Yeah.
I think if they had a long run with the titles, man, they could have dominated the whole tag division, and they could have been like the number one. That could have been your kind of like who could I compare them to? Jesus,
Like the out of shape Twin Towers.
You could say that, like the out of yeah, pretty much. It's like, I mean, it would have been great to see them having a long title run for it, but it's an unfortunate. Number 3, I will have to go with the Colognes. Primo Epico.
Really good pick.
Yeah.
Because they are underrated. They're incredible in the ring. They never had a title run. I mean, that I know of. I mean, maybe the one time, I'm not sure. I don't remember if they ever did. But you know, Tito and Epico, they were fucking phenomenal in the ring, and they are very underrated.
Yeah.
Not spoken at all. And then they got dropped to before this whole pandemic. Yeah,
I don't know if I heard a rumor where something happened. I don't know if they got like backstage heat or if they were like too good in the ring and someone didn't like. I heard they got buried like for some purpose. But
and then you like pretty much rebrand them to being Los Matadores with
masks. How do you put masks on people?
Yeah, and not and
yeah.
It does not work that way. It's you take the masks off, but you can't put them. Like the Rey Mysterio is the only exception to the rule ever, where you put the mask back on and he's as or more successful than he was. No, but not with these guys.
Yeah, and it sucks because of the fact that we all know who they are. Why you gotta call them Los Matadores?
I know it's like Edge and Christian as Los Conquistadors. Like we know it's them. The blue blazer, like it's just what are you doing here? What's the joke?
Yeah, I agree. Number 2, and I wish they would have gone to the WWE towards the Attitude Era. I think this tag team would have been dominant in that Attitude Era and given the New Age Outlaws some worth money for main eventing, and that is ECW's own The Eliminators. That is Perry Saturn and Kronos, because those guys, fuck man, they killed it in ECW.
One of the best tag team finishers of all time.
Oh my god! That just that finishing move, Jesus Christ!
Black mass with the leg sweep.
Yes. That's a combo breaker right there. Combo breaker.
Combo breaker.
They're really underrated. I wish they could have been in that era, gone to WWE. They could have had a great, title run and great matches with a lot of the tag teams. And it's unfortunate that they're not up there. Number 1. This is a hard one, man. I know I might get it. I don't. Okay, my number 1, because I love them. The fact that even though they were kind of main eventing, but they got squashed quick. They only had a 1 title run, and I wish they could have had a longer title run. And that is Murdoch and Cade.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Lance Cade, man. Lance Garrison. Holy shit.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Bro,
if they had the title for I think for like 2 months. And then they lost to the Kane and Big Show. That quick. And I'm like, what's up with that? Like, how can you lose that? Like, I was not happy about that. I wish they could have had a longer run with it. And I think they could have done a great job with it, in my opinion. I feel Murdoch and Cade could have just killed that tag team for sure. Okay, my honorable mentions. Even though they did have a short run, but I wish they could have done more with them. Would have been Cesaro and TJ Wilson. I love TJ Wilson and Cesaro. That was a great tag team. Even though, we like the Hart Dynasty, but I prefer more, TJ and Cesaro, because they're 2 different athletes and they mix and match and they
their finisher was like the Cesaro swing into like a flying drop kick.
I think that was sick though.
It was really great.
It was really great. I loved it. It's just like, oh my god, his head. Oh my
so cringe. Like not bad, it's like good. Like
definitely. And then my second honorable mention that are not really mentioned a lot And I think they were your Rockers 2.0, and that's Paul London and Brian Kendrick.
I was gonna put them.
I almost they were this close to making my list, man. This close.
They were your Rockers 3.0. I mean, yes, they had a SmackDown, title run, but wasn't the best. I'll tell you that, to be honest. I wish they could have done more with them. And then when they separated them, I'm like, crap, that was just it. It was game over. London didn't really have much. Only the storyline was Kidman. Kendrick went to be the Brian Kendrick. Everybody remembers that one. But I like the gimmick, though. It was not bad.
I love the gimmick so much, the Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, I like it. He had the bodyguard. It's like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me like Jericho. Remember when Jericho had the other bodyguard?
Yeah, he was definitely like the rock star chic. Kind of like Sunset.
They were the original AJ Styles and Omos, I guess. If you
Hell yeah, definitely. I agree. So I mean, those are my picks, man.
Solid picks.
Yeah, I tell you, it was tough. I can mention a lot more, but I want to see if you guys have them. If you guys don't, then I'll mention it. All right, let's go back to the wheel and let's see who goes next. All right, here we go. Spin that wheel.
Here we are.
So excited.
Matt's excited. Matt is excited, and so am I. I want to see. I'm curious now.
All right, my number one pick is Shaq and Jade Cargill.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys? I heard my name. I have to. No, but,
Chris missed out on.
No. I promise you, I watched the 38 minutes. I had to skip out on. I watched it this morning, so I heard it.
Beautiful.
I watch our show. Don't worry. I'm a mark for us.
All right, but so I'm probably worse than Alex because he said that he was around Ruthless Aggression. He missed out on the Attitude Era. I missed out on both of them. So I'm going to be really focusing this list more on some current day tag teams. Not too current day. A lot of them aren't around. Most of them aren't around. But there is one from the Ruthless Aggression era that I loved, grew up on them, but we'll get to in a minute. I'm actually going to start off with my honorable mentions. And the first one that I thought of, and the reason why I'm wearing this shirt is it says stunt double on it.
Oh, there we go. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
I had to go with
I
it.
love it, bro. Mizdow, right?
Miz and Mizdow. I grew up on the Miz in a tag team, always with someone else. It was always, Miz and Big Show. It was always Miz and Morrison. But Miz and Mizdow was easily, well and away, my favorite tag team for Miz. And around that time, they were just so good. Mizdow finally breaking away from him at WrestleMania that year was a great moment. And then they did nothing with him, but I mean, it was great in the moment. I also put another team that I didn't really grow up with as much, but I did put them down because I've watched some of their matches and I've, been a fan of them. Too Cool, Scotty Tumati, and Grandmaster Sexay. When I was, just starting to watch wrestling, I would go on YouTube and it would really be Rikishi, who I would watch the most. So I would kind of be introduced to Too Cool. And I remember that moment in the Royal Rumble when they did the dance and then he threw both of them out of there. One of my favorite moments. So they were a big part of me growing up. And to see them wrestle at NXT TakeOver that one year when they were just starting to, I think it was the first TakeOver. That was a really just great moment. And so I had to put them in the honorable mentions. Besides that, I really wanted to put, well, we'll get into that. So number 5, and I might be cheating on this one because they are a stable, but you could look at it either way. I put the Nexus.
Tag in the match, you're a tag team. It counts. So
there you go. I put Nexus. They were, starting off, I started watching in 2010 and they were completely different from anything that I'd ever seen at that point. They were attacking like Bret Hart, Undertaker, Vince. It was just this crazy, those few months during the summer were just this crazy thing that was going on. And, they really kept me interested the entire time. And then but his
name is John.
But hey, even with, the next year when Punk joined in, I thought, that actually helped it out a lot. And, everything that happened with the core. They're another team. So Nexus was a huge part of, me as a fan. So I thought I'd put them down. Plus the tag team of Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. Really great tag team, especially for Justin Gabriel. The 450 splash, his 450 splash was just a thing of beauty. So Nexus for my number 5. Number 4, I watched a lot of WWE, but I also did watch a lot of TNA, and there are 2 TNA teams here. My number 4 is the original DK with Biss, Crazy Steve, and Rosemary. It was just around that time that, because I love the supernatural gimmicks, and to see Rosemary come out for the first time and she cut that. Yeah, and she cut that promo like DK. It was just a wild moment. And then obviously we all knew Abyss before then. So to see him getting involved was just, mind blowing. And they had some great matches with the Hardys and all of them. So, I had to put them. They were, one of the more interesting teams in TNA around that time when they were when things were starting to get rough for all Dixie Carter and friends. So I put Decay at my number 4. So number 3, I was having trouble coming up with this because for this spot I could literally just put all of NXT's tag teams when they were starting off with the takeovers. I could have put Lucha Dragons. I could have put the Vaudevillains.
Love the Vaudevillains.
Yeah, like Blake and Murphy, all of them. I could have put all of them, but I had to narrow it down to one. And for NXT, I put the Ascension.
Yes.
The Ascension was such a great team. I didn't really care for their stuff as like vampires-ish, but thankfully they transitioned more to like rock. You could tell that they were themselves.
Like Legion of Doom from space or whatever.
Yeah, until they turned into Legion of Doom in losing to JBL and stuff like that. But in NXT, they were just like this unstoppable force. And, you look at like their crowd reaction, like they had the chant like, and the whole crowd would go crazy for them. They had the undefeated streak for a while. I don't know how long it was, but I know that they were champions for a while. The longest reigning tag team champs, as far as I'm aware. And, they were just a great tag team and really a team that NXT needed to get them off to the right foot. And when Lucha Dragons beat them for the titles, really great moment. Everything else that happened with Ascension after that, putting the face paint on them, Stardust, that was all just, it wasn't that good. But anyways, so for my number 2, and I wasn't sure whether to put number 1 and number 2. You could interchange them, but I watched more of number 2 than I did number 1. Another TNA tag team, I put the Wolves of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that was another team around that time with Decay and like the Hardys and all of them that their tag team division by then was really good, and they were like the 3 main teams, and the Wolves were just so good in the ring. They were just on point. They remind me a lot of the Machine Guns, Motor City Machine Guns, but they had a little bit of an edge to them. When they broke up, I didn't really feel it. I just felt like those 2 were a perfect tag team together. And to have them separate now with whatever Eddie Edwards doing now in TNA, it'll never be the same. Like you can never recapture what happened with the Wolves. Their ladder match with, I think it was a ladder match or Full Metal Mayhem, whatever, with the Hardys. Still one of my favorite matches that I've seen in TNA. So just they've put on some great matches, and I don't hear them talked about enough, so I had to put them at my number 2. But number 1, and I mentioned how I grew up, when I was younger with like YouTube videos and wrestling and stuff like that. And, I mentioned like Rikishi and Too Cool, always would watch the Rock videos. But there was a team that I would watch all the time from the Ruthless Aggression era, and they would make me laugh all the time. Booker T and Goldust.
I love it.
Great team.
Dust or whatever, Gold T.
Yeah, their chemistry was just on point. Everything that they did.
You want me kiss you where? I want you to come back to Goldust in the hotel room. Jesus.
Oh my goodness. but just, just great stuff all around. And, they tried to redo it with R-Truth, and like not too long ago, they tried to pair up Goldust and R-Truth. It just wasn't the same. Everything that they did, both in the ring and out, you have two great wrestlers as it is, but you just give them the creative freedom to just go wild and just be as funny as they fucking can, and they for sure did. So yeah, they were easily for me my top number one pick. And all those teams, I don't hear them talked about nearly enough. Like I said, I'm younger down the line, so I couldn't really go with like, the bigger names that we've been hearing so far. But yeah, I think this is a solid list for me for my underrated list.
I love it. I love it, and especially with the golden. I think my favorite one, my favorite vignette is when they go to the 7-Eleven, and like I think what he's on all. I would like to have some of your refreshment, and you can take a bite of my wiener. It's just the eyes. I cried my ass off just watching that fucking vignette. And just watching Booker T's reaction was just out of the park. I couldn't just stop laughing about it.
Crikey, we're here looking for the Croc Hunter, the NWO. You see the NWO grease rat right here, mate.
I love it, man. It was so entertaining. And the Wolves, I'll tell you one thing. When it Jesus but yeah, the Wolves, Eddie Edwards, and Jesus Christ, you just mentioned his name. What was his name again?
Davey Richards.
Davey Richards, yes. I was there in PWG in Reseda when he won the PWG World Title away from Roger Strong. Wow. I was there, and I jumped in the ring. I have to look for that YouTube video. I came in the ring, and I was celebrating with him. We were carrying him, and like, yeah. Davey Richards. Awesome. Davey Richards is unfortunate that he left. He left the industry just to go, medical field, but his understanding, and now he wants to come back. So I'm gonna wish him the best if he does come back and starts wrestling again. He was a phenomenal athlete.
Oh yeah.
It could be a thing like Alex Shelley, where you do a little bit of both, because he's like Alex Shelley's a physical therapist, and kind of goes back and forth between the two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, now let's go to the wheel and see who's the last one.
Last one on the wheel, not the last one who has picks, because obviously the last person would be defaulted not picked on the wheel.
I was going to say that, but you said it for me. Thank you. MGC.
All right. So I'm gonna go with for my number 5. Pretty recent PCO and Brody King is my number 5. Villain Enterprises.
Nice.
I kind of like that they're like a bigger like bruiser team, and there's a lot of like like power moves, because like especially in a sea of like high flyers, you got like a big time veteran like PCO, and you have Brody King, who I still wish he won that Ring of Honor title singles, but Ring of Honor World Championship. I thought it was his time, but still gotta wait. I love that Gonzo bomb though. It's like a power bomb into a pile driver. But I mean, overall, I love them as a team. It's like, I think Brody King's like such a cool, like big guy baby face. Number 4, Killer Elite Squad, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Nice.
When I saw their video in Pro Wrestling Noah, it's like Lance Archer's like you think he's kind of cool and vicious now, but I looked at his video in Pro Wrestling Noah, and he's like you think Triple H spits a lot of water? It's like Lance Archer like wanted to times that by 20. Like he went around like every single person in that crowd and spit water at them. Like like make sure I got to get everybody in this room. He was like a dragon, especially with his hood. Like I'd give him title of Lance the Dragon Archer. All right, so number 3. This has been I'm kind of glad other people picked this one. This is a favorite. I love the moves and the arsenal. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. That Haas of pain. Like, I think about the House of Pain whenever I see like anything about like Lady Gaga's like the House of Gaga. No, the House of Gaga, and like put you in the, like that's what pops into my head whenever people talk about that, or mess with do that play on House and Haas.
Yeah.
I think about Charlie Haas anytime that's brought up. Number 2. It's the guys behind me, the War Kings, trained by Road Warrior Animal. I'd say they're super underrated. And I think one of Crimson's making his comeback to NWA Power for an upcoming show. I really wish there would be some more television exposure for this team. They're probably the one team I've wanted to see the most in AEW. I'd say kind of like how the Young Bucks are seen as kind of successors to like the Rock and Roll Express and the Rockers. I kind of see the War Kings as the successors of like Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, and Demolition, kind of like a continuation of that big like heavy group. And like seeing them and I really feel like they're kind of like I wouldn't say foils, but kind of like the contrast of the Young Bucks. Or help me out with vocabulary. Kind of like Young Bucks is the Young Bucks. Their counterpart, probably their modern day counterpart.
Rivals, not arch nemesis.
Yeah, like the counterpart in terms of like how their move sets would kind of fit together. I think they could just like their match would like fit. I think a match between the Young Bucks and the War Kings would be like it would be like a puzzle pieces fitting in together. Is kind of how I would describe their match. It would seem like because they're more ground based, but then they've got their cool moves and then flyers. It's like it's a symphony. It's an orchestra, like a clock working together with gears. All right, so my number 1 pick. I don't know. I wonder if this comes as no surprise or a surprise. No Limit, Tatsuya Naito and Yujiro.
It would.
I got a lot of love for them, especially stuff in both New Japan and TNA. I remember when they were Team Japan in that one like global.
Oh, the TNA Cup, right? I think it was.
Yeah. TNA Cup, No Limit.
I forgot about that. Naito had a short fucking hair at that time, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, he had a short like red hair, and Yujiro had
I remember. Yeah.
Yujiro was like more of a bruiser than a pimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I remember. Wow, shit.
A one night reunion would be kind of fun. All right, honorable mentions. I think I'll go with honorable mentions Tanahashi and Nakamura. When Tanahashi was rocking the black and white pants in New Japan, I really liked that tag team. That was like I look for matches of them wherever I could find them. Tanahashi and Nakamura versus whoever. I think they had. I think it was like a Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima. I think versus Nakamura and Tanahashi, and then I think they also faced Tajiri and the Great Muta as well. I think that was another really cool one. Like those 4, they make magic happen, And my number 1 honorable mention, Motor City Machine Guns. They're somewhere like it's like at the moment their current state is like they're somewhat together in Impact, but at the same time it's like I think because they're on Impact, not like they're not getting enough exposure. I want to see them on AEW television.
Isn't Saban with James Storm right now, or they're doing something like that?
Because Alex Shelley's busy doing physical therapy for people like because of the pandemic. He wants to like lend his hand and stuff like that. But I love everything they do. I'd say I think I said before my ultimate dream TLC at the moment. They should do it while the door's still open and everybody's alive and well and healthy. FTR, Young Bucks, Briscoes, War Kings, Motor City Machine Guns, TLC.
That's a lot of teams for a TLC. I would just do an elimination chamber.
Yeah, that too.
That's what I would do.
Either or, those two. If the Young Bucks are involved, I have a feeling they would have a great time like planning it. It would be the ultimate fun for all tag teams.
I agree, definitely.
Their match with the North was amazing.
Oh my God, yeah, the North
Yeah.
is amazing. That's another man. It's unfortunate, but I mean, they can still team up, even though they're cross promotion. They can still bring it back one more time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see. We want to see the North and FTR. I would love to see that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That will be a classic match, in my opinion. Director, the floor is yours.
Thank you. All right. So my list, I always try to make them slightly diverse. This goes through generations, but it was unintentionally. It's just a coincidence that it does cover everything from when I was an itty titty bitty baby, and I'll really date myself when I show my number one. You'd be like, oh, he's old as dirt. All the way up until a tag team that existed up until last year, and then everything in between. It's a beautiful coincidence, but I kind of like the way it played out. Number 5. It was a trios team, and they were in WCW, and they had a great rivalry with a team that I didn't put on the list, but they could have been interchangeable with this particular list. The team that didn't make the list was 3 Count before Tank Abbott joined. This was their counterpart, their rivals, and this is the Young Dragons with Kaz, Yang, and Jamie-san. The Jamie angle itself was hilarious because it was assumed that all 3 members of the Young Dragons were of Asian descent. And then there was the big reveal that Jamie Noble was just this white guy. That was
big reveal.
That was the big reveal. Obviously, we know Jamie Noble went on to slightly bigger and better things. J&J Security, working with Mercury, stuff like that. But he started in this pretty great faction. It was just 3 martial artists that did a lot of cool shit that you didn't see on the WWF roster at the time. Number 4 was a tag team that carried the division for the entirety that this division, in my opinion, was relevant. Whether or not it's relevant now, give or take. But they were the greatest champions this division has ever had, and they were iconic.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
The Iconics, man. They just worked so well together. I remember when they were forming, they've always been a team. They grew up together as best friends in Australia, Billy Kay and the other one. And just getting them in NXT, watching them kind of develop and grow, and then finally get this major main roster push, which is never done well. There's so few current or any NXT roster wrestlers that have come over to main roster that weren't buried immediately. Kevin Owens has survived, crossing our fingers on Keith Lee, but they've already buried, as we know, Retribution. They, for absolutely no reason, broke up the Iconics for I don't know what they were doing. But when that was no longer a tag team, I just really kind of stopped caring. And especially since now that there's NXT women's tag team champions. Mm-hmm. But the original women's tag champion belt was to be defended on every program, including NXT. And now they're kind of like steering away from that. So it's like they don't know what they're doing anymore with that tag division. And I think the Iconics were, in the name, the iconic tag team women in modern era. Throwing it back to number 3. And I mean this, man. This is going to date me a little bit. This is me growing up. This is my puberty. This is my childhood. This is my attitude era. And this is the Headbangers.
Oh.
It would have outdated itself eventually anyways, because it was a new metal grunge era that came to the ring wearing, the skirts and the fishnets and the Hot Topic and the nail polish and the Marilyn Manson shirts, zombie shirts. It was Ultra Ozfest 1998, and that's what I was into. So I could totally relate to them. I love the finisher, the stage dive, which I think was basically what the Usos do sometimes, is a splash leg drop combo. Or I think RVD and Sabu do that as well. I think that's what it was. It wouldn't have lasted until music evolved anyways. It's very music-centric of the time genre. And that happens when you pick a style that's just within that generation. It de-evolves and then phases out.
This is like dun 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 dun. Like that's a playable one.
Number 2. Yeah, boy, you knew it. Ivan knew it, man. The Eliminators, John Cronus and Perry Saturn, the greatest tag team that wasn't RVD and Sabu in ECW, in my opinion, or the Dudley Boys, I guess. All 3 of them. But those teams were rated. Those teams were respectfully rated, where the Eliminators kind of dissolved before ECW made it big, which I think would have been on Spike TV when they got that national television. Sorry, so my phone's doing some weird thing. Saturn obviously went on to join the Flock in WCW, and then move on to the Radicals, and then became a big main roster staple with He Who Shall Not Be Named, Guerrero, and Dean Malenko. But the Eliminators were awesome, man. They were violent. They would flow together. They had a lot of cool moves. They could fly, but they could also strike and be big hitters. And my number one, never held the tag titles. I think they were just short of being part of the smaller flyer kind of era that when Vince was really just literally balls deep in the big men. And the reason I started watching pro wrestling to begin with, the original Rockers. Michael Marty for my jam. I just remember them coming out together. I remember the angle where Sean broke his leg for real, and Marty had to carry the team kind of. Sean would be ringside, Marty would do singles matches. I felt that. I could relate to that for some reason, because I didn't grow up with a brother at the time. My first brother was not born until I was like 18. So like being an only child, I related to just having something like that. I love the colors. They weren't big, scary men. They were screaming, and they were very fast and fluid. They had a moveset. They didn't just pick you up and drop you. And then the heel turn for Sean, man. I remember that. I think I was watching that live, which is probably I'm 37 right now, so that was a long time ago. Never had the tag titles. There's some controversy where Sean won it in like some weird like 2 out of 3 tag falls thing, but they never officially had the titles, and I don't know why. It was weird. I think it was just before the time when Vince liked flyers. But yeah, they definitely started that whole, I think, smaller man flying style, whether it was singles or in the tag divisions. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have any honorable mentions because I couldn't think of any. I can make some up right now, but it would just be a little too late.
I could add some for you.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I would literally add, Powers of Glory. I will add them. Shit, you can even add Public Enemy. Even though Public Enemy,
I like Public Enemy. I think that they were not, in my opinion, overrated. They
were underrated.
I think maybe they were just like underheard of and then buried by JBL.
Oh my God, bad. They were
no, Acolytes. I'm sorry. Was it the Acolytes that buried them?
I believe so. I think it was Acolytes.
It was like they wanted to come in and do their own thing, and then like the Acolytes were like,
they buried the shit out of them.
Yeah, and Acolytes were like, how about we just stiff you and break your face, and then you can just go cry to WCW or whatever happened.
Yeah, and they did. They went to WCW.
I like Rock and Johnny Grunge, man. I was an ECW kid, so like anybody putting you through tables in Philly was my jam.
But you made a valid point though. I forgot about that the Rockers never won the tag team belts.
Never won the tag titles.
That's interesting. That
then Sean went on to become the GOAT.
So you're telling me that Shawn Michaels won his first tag team championship with Diesel? Pretty much, right?
I believe that actually might be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. See, I didn't thought about that, but wow, good call. I love it. That man, there's so many that we could go ahead and discuss about, man.
Yeah,
but
like
man,
there's people on like I believe it was when I left the podcast last night and I rewatched the remaining minutes. I think Anthony definitely mentioned Pride and Powerful.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they were this close to being on my list. And again, it's like kind of like what I said with Anna Jay. I think on a long enough timeline, they will get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, I think right now with everything going on with the Inner Circle, they're starting to get the recognition. So that's why I kept them off my list. But if we did this like last year, they would be probably number one for me.
I think I'm gonna share that match to it's on YouTube once again. Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz versus the War Kings and 2 other teams who hopefully we see more of.
Someone I think Alex said LAX. They were in LAX, so that kind of counts.
But that wasn't the original one. That was like right after.
Whatever.
Yeah, because the original was Homicide and Hernandez was Hector Guerrero. Then Conan came later, and then they left, and then they added Santana and Ortiz later. I think then Diamante was added to later on.
Yeah.
And then she left, and then Eddie Kingston was added later on, and then it was so much. Yeah. It was so much. Oh, you know who as well? I don't know if you guys agree with me. I feel American Most Wanted.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
We forgot about them. We forgot about James Storm and Chris Harris. if they would have stuck together and gone to either the main roster to WWE, I think they could have done something. Yeah, they would have said, "Oh man, that's your smoking gun 2.0," but no, not like this. These guys are different. So definitely. All right.
I mean, another NXT team that I was thinking of, because I'm kind of the NXT guy for this show, but American Alpha. I mean, I don't hear them talked about a lot.
I hate that also that they're not the main roster pool. The thing happened.
Yep.
I don't know why they broke them up. They were awesome. Fucking Kurt Angle. It could have just been the new Haas and Benjamin. But then they decided to go with the daddy route, which was a very great angle up until the payoff, which was, I like that Corey was getting these like phone calls where he had to leave the booth. He's like, "Oh, I got a phone call and this is serious. I have to go." They did this for like a month, and then the phone calls were just like, "Oh, Jason Jordan's Kurt Angle's kid." It's like, what the fuck? You know that he's not. It's not even suspended disbelief. Like, it was just bad.
I think it's because everyone knew that it was like people wanted it to be Gable, so they were like, "Oh, well, we have to swerve them now. Give me Jason Jordan for no fucking reason."
Yeah, because Vince was like, "That's good shit right there. Good shit." Say it, Matt. Say it.
It's good shit.
There you go. All right, now let's go to the wheel to see what's going to be for next week's top 5 for week 46. I am curious to see what is the next one. Here we go.
What we're gonna get.
We should do a list of worst lists. Top 5 worst lists.
All right. Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So
Jofo in the ring,
or just Canadian?
Just Canadian. Hey, Jofo in the ring, courtesy of Frank Jofo. He's the one who suggested to add this one on the wheel.
But he needs to clarify: best Canadian wrestlers, worst Canadian wrestlers, men, women.
You already know who's going to be brought up.
Oh boy.
You mentioned, I mean, Winnipeg versus Calgary versus Edmonton versus Toronto. Let's see which you go with. Let's see if you make the right decisions.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
He's almost turning into like a Native American chief. It was like, "So my son, you must join me in this spiritual circle."
Man, great. You're only gonna have one name. That's it. I already know it. I already know you're only gonna have one name only, and that's it. And that is.
Was it Captain James? What's the
Kenny Omega? You're gonna have Kenny Omega.
Who's PCO? Well, who was PCO before? He was like Pierre.
Yeah.
Jean.
Pierre Ouellette.
He was like a pirate though.
Yeah, that was with
No,
Bret Hart.
he was a pirate.
He was a pirate who stole Bret Hart's jacket.
Yeah. I don't remember his name though. Pierre.
Jean-Pierre Lafayette.
Yeah, something like that. Jean-Pierre. This is gonna be a tough one. But not really. Hell no. I already know my number one. I'm not gonna say it, but I mean it's so obvious. This is like a way. But I mean we have to really do our research, courtesy for Frank Jofo. So
I think Jeremy Prophet's faced PCO at some time. I think he did, right? Didn't he? If I'm not forgetting.
I feel like he's mentioned that.
He mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, all the love to PCO. Anytime I can mention it, So
yeah, so there you go. So what we could do is the best Canadian wrestlers, then, or we could we could do that.
Works.
Top 5 best Canadian wrestlers. All right.
Keep in mind, Roddy Piper's Canadian.
Yep.
That is very true. You're absolutely right about that. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed the top 5 picks of the week here for week 45. Once again, I want to go ahead and thank our brothers from Another Mothers, the League of Extraordinary Podcast, for joining us. We had Anthony for the last 3 days, or the last 2 days, excuse me. And I want to go ahead and thank you, brother, for once again taking your time. Of
course. Thank you for having me. I mean, like I mentioned the other day, you guys are always welcome, and we got to set something up to have you guys turn your attention to the Titantron.
That is right. That is right. And also, of course, my other brother, man, Bro, you know, the mod is a pain, man. You can't go wrong with. Which I'm gonna see him in 2 weeks because we got another big MMA episode to talk about.
The champ is here.
He is a typology world.
Smokes us in the typology picks, bro. He beat you had like 675 in total points, and second place was like 490 or some shit, like 500. It was not even close.
Yeah, I gotta say he is a reigning, defending. Oh, Tapology World Champion. I'm gonna say my voice because I'm gonna lose it. But yes,
I forgot my crowns right here.
And also, don't not forget as well to check these two podcasters out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to check out the Titantron podcast. Our description right below the YouTube channel. Follow them on the social media platform, Twitter at Titantron, IG at Titantron, the Titantron, excuse me. And also buy their merchandise as well. Do not forget to buy them.
Yes. Very important.
Very.
Teespring.com / the fucking Titantron, whatever it's called. It's in my bio somewhere.
And also do not forget to all your Apple podcasters, all your Spreakers, make sure you listen to Championship on the Line podcast. So they took out a recent one, which was Sonny Ono. You better make sure you tune in and listen to that because that is an interesting interview.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a very interesting interview. But yes, also, ladies and gentlemen, once again, don't forget to follow us as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the video at the end of this video. Hit that link, hit that button, hit that like notification. Subscribe to Circle of Debate. We're gonna have huge announcements coming up next week, which we will announce next Friday, or probably before. We're gonna have a special announcement, and stay tuned as well. Also, don't not forget as well that we gotta have upcoming events as well that we will discuss. But stay tuned, Make sure you follow us on our social medias. Make sure you subscribe to our channel because we have a lot of news coming for you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Host TV's 1C here with the Wisay, with MGC, Matthew, Elias, Don, Callis. The list could go on and on. And also we have the director of the directors. If you don't do your shit right, he will cut you off.
I didn't do anything. You guys got all your lines in. I give everybody equal screen time. You're all good.
I'm talking about the directors of CK1 Cruz Kennedy. Saying to you guys, good day, au revoir. We will see you guys next week. Matt, you got to say you're the last punchline. What do we do, Matt?
Oh yeah, we don't make podcasts here. We make history.
There you have it. Good night, everybody.